Alright, we are going to go into Maru and MaxPax apparently sooner than expected. This is why you guys subscribe, for when Wardy screws up the ads. Now you don't have to watch the ads instead of the first 30 seconds of Maru and MaxPax. Yeah, just a little shocked at how quickly this came around, honestly. As we get up and ready to roll. We are really ready to play. Oh my god. Okay, Maru versus MaxPax. Here we go. This was absolutely zero chill, guys. I did not expect that in the slightest, if I'm going to be honest with you. That's a shocker to me. Alright, let's get this going. Let's get this started up. Because we do have the red Protoss bottom right is MaxPax. The blue Terran top left is Maru. And yeah, just a little bit surprised at how quickly this game got going. But welcome one and welcome all straight into this TvP. I know a lot of people are just like, Maru, Maru, Maru. And I kind of agree. They played in a World Team League not so long ago. Maru didn't really put up with anything that MaxPax had to show him. So I kind of think, yes, I also agree this should just be all about Maru as well. But yeah, we'll find out if MaxPax can make a bit of an upset. I think there's a good chance a little bit of an upset comes through. Something a little bit crazy maybe happens, sort of thing. I think there's some good opportunities, some good possibilities there. As GLHF going to be coming on up. Get this pretty much ready to start. Well, it's an engineering bay block from Maru, so he's going to straight up already try and control the game himself. And I always think that's one of the better ways to play against MaxPax, where you try and, like, you say, you play by my rules, not by your own rules. MaxPax just says, I'll play by my rules anyway, buddy. Puts a Nexus down over to the side and just gets that going. As we just see our probe just going to go up and fight against this SCV a little bit, so a little bit of back and forth. Let's just kind of get underway. So factory already building from Maru in the main base, getting that up and ready to roll. Yeah, it can be fun, because obviously the one thing that Maru is very good at is abusing things that your opponents do. And right now, MaxPax has taken his natural expansion on the third base location, so now this is typically where Maru's like, oh, what if I make Hellions and run them by a base that you can't wall off? Or do something tricky that usually you'd want to wall off against, because now it's not possible for you to have a wall off. That's the kind of thing that Maru is very good at coming up with, so excited to see if MaxPax has an answer to that. And already we see Hellions in production, and like I said, I don't think there's any doubt why that is, because MaxPax has decided to build the base off of location. So let's see what happens. And let's see what comes of this. Adept comes through, and SCV will continue to take a couple shots of damage. It's a little bit of additional damage being done there. I mean, not bad. Adept gets out alive as well, right? It's shading out of there. Not really getting itself into too much further trouble or anything. These Hellions continuing to fight, and those two Adepts do take a bit of a roasting. So Adept's taking some damage, shading up in toward this natural expansion now. They're going to cancel that Adept shade. And the Hellions will continue to just gather on up in this natural expansion. So continue to get the Hellions together. Not going to make a move just yet, of course. At least MaxPax knows about them, so he can prepare a little bit back at home as to how he's going to deal with them if they do show up and try to be aggressive and all that kind of good stuff. There goes that Oracle moving along to the left-hand side. It's going to show up and actually flies through the bunker, which is just going to be a little bit of shield damage you didn't really need to take, but I guess not really much opportunity to do anything else here anyway, so doesn't have too much of an impact as the Hellions do show up a battery here, but only two Hellions. I mean, they aren't going to do all that much, so not too successful just yet for Maru. And this is going to be a good initial defense from Protoss. Here come additional Hellions into the main base, though, and this is where you can do some damage, one-shotting some workers. Adepts do catch up, but there's no battery in here, so actually going to be able to do a little bit extra. Alright, well, we continue through with MaxPax. Haven't defended. I mean, honestly, not too bad, but you can still see the work count. 33 against 32. Maru generally is happy if he's equal in workers as a Terran player here, because you've got mules on your side and all that kind of stuff, compared to your opponent having, you know, none of that, just Chrono Boost. So the Chrono Boost should put them ahead on probes. So when they're not ahead on probes, you can absolutely tell, you know, again, that, you know, damage basically has been done. This has been a somewhat successful opening, and all of that good stuff. So, yeah, looking pretty good at the moment in that regard. As we get ready to roll. Widowmine shot actually hits this Phoenix, and that's already going to take a pretty big hit, so that's a little bit painful. That is a bit of a chunky bit of damage you end up taking on that, so a little painful, as I say, but I mean, otherwise, still looking reasonable, right? Still looking playable for MaxPax. With all these Phoenix, you can shut down a lot of the aggression that Maru might want to come up with a lot of the time here, so I imagine that's going to be a pretty big part of this as this Oracle comes in, drops down a little Revelation to try and keep track of units. Obviously, one thing you never want to have Maru do is to get out of control with these units, right? The moment that this game starts being, you know, units here, units there, units everywhere, that's when it becomes very troubling for you. And that's why you've got to start being very cautious about what happens next, basically, and where you go, and making sure that, you know, one moment Maru is in your main, and then he's in your natural, then he's in your third, and yeah, you just need to know where Maru is at all times, and especially with these Phoenix, because these Phoenix are kind of meant to try and slow it down, shut down reinforcements when Maru is pushing out. Right now, they're just pulling back to take a fight. At least charge is done. That's going to be a very important part of this. Having that charge complete in here. The Marines, the Widowmine, now just going to fall back again. Looks so they're going to be pretty much done. As a little Revelation, Widowmine gets picked up. And otherwise, continue onward. Yeah, it hasn't been anything too aggressive then, right? I mean, the Phoenix didn't do much. Just the Hellions early game. And this army now, still being tracked by the Phoenix, but still coming at a cost of MaxPax. And I just think it's these little things MaxPax really needs to get on top of. You know, he's losing a unit here, unit there, and these things really do all add up. You know, every Phoenix that goes down is one more Phoenix you just can't quite add, you know, to help out or anything. So, you know, it's just one less Phoenix to lift up in the defense. And it's just a game of efficiency that, you know, currently it does seem like is a downward trend, unfortunately, if you're MaxPax. So, I don't want to be so negative just yet. It's just, you know, you're playing Maru. And when you're playing Maru, usually you need everything to go right for you. Otherwise, everything goes wrong, you know, very swiftly. So, yeah, just trying to be cautiously... I mean, I'm being pessimistic, but with good reason, I suppose. Well, a few Phoenix is gonna go popping around and still just picking off a unit here or there. I mean, credit to MaxPax, he's been very active with those Phoenix, even if he's lost a couple of them. You can't fault him for how active he's been and how much he's been trying to make sure that nothing too wild is going on, that he's always, you know, knowing where his opponent's units are, etc. So, he's been good at that, and these Zealots are going to charge through. Forceful goes down. The Widowmines on Burrow doesn't want to let the Widowmines go off on those Zealots. Maybe was afraid of friendly fire or so. Now MaxPax is actually going to start chasing Maru back. Phoenix is going to start lifting up a few of these additional Marines toward the end. And more of these units of MaxPax will gather back up in the center. Oh, that is a nice little something. It's just going to be seeing another gate out on the right-hand side. The few Phoenix going to make their way up as well at the moment. And a few Bayons going to go stimming out elsewhere too at the moment. He is. They go over the right-hand side. What they're going to find? A gateway that's morphing in. Well, probe goes down. That gateway is going to start going down. So some damage will be done there as our gateway drops. Our Zealot's going to charge through too, and a bunch of these SCVs seem to be in some trouble. And Bioforce is coming in, and they're going to be picking away at a few more Zealots. So a few additional Zealots continue to drop down dead. That's going to be seen now. Maru continuing to come around this right-hand side. Going to be going toward the forward base in a few moments, so looking to jump on top of that fort. There's Water Mines burrow up. A few Zealots coming through. MP is already going off as well, as these Archons kind of wanting to run forward with everything else also. Here we go, jumping on this right-hand side. Nexus is going to be picked away at. So Nexus taking quite a few shots at the moment. Another Marauder, sorry, just on the upper left. EMP's going down. It's Phoenix flying overhead, actually getting connected onto by Widow Mines here. Another Disruptor shot going in. And does land, and these Disruptors continue to try clean up, but I think Maru maybe just has a bit too much, as he will still have units left over at the end of this. A Marauder on the left side gets rid of the Disruptor as well. Problem is now that these few Zealots are just going to get picked away as they warp in. Well, they actually make a better stand than I expected. I thought these would die off a little bit faster than they have been, so yeah, it still is going to be too much terror, and obviously reinforcements will keep on arriving also and make this worse and worse. Good effort from MaxPax, but at the end of the day, I do think a lot of the efficiency early game didn't go his way, and just a lot of the little things that just, you know, kept Maru in his favor. I mean, especially Maru just being equal on workers for such a long time was a pretty big deal as well. So yeah, I think MaxPax just needs to tidy up the earlier stages of this game, just clean it up a little bit, and from there just kind of, you know, well, you're playing against Maru, so it's going to need the official start time. So if the first series was like 20 minutes long, you would have 40 minutes to wait before the next games. But credit to them, they've really improved on that a lot. Can't complain at all. This event's, I mean, yesterday we had some downtime, but that wasn't their fault. So shout out to Next. They've been obviously providing us a clean feed, which is amazing too. This is not something that used to be provided. I fought for like a couple of years to get to, you know, past these tournaments to bring these guys to you in English. And there was a lot of resistance, and it was just not allowed for a long time. But now they seem to love it. They're impressed with the viewership we get. They're very happy that the English viewership's so high, and obviously from the other streams as well. So, yeah. Into game we go. Game number 2 of Maru MaxPax in this elimination match. MaxPax up at right-hand side. Here's our red pro displayer from Storm Gaming. Bottom left, our blue Terran is Maru. I feel like it's a little bit overkill, the different observers having just jumping in different like observer cameras for like the intros. And then the music changes because obviously the music is different on each computer, like it's at a different part and stuff, so that's funny. Why would anyone ever not want more coverage of the games? Well, because, put it this way, their audience and sponsors are based on the Chinese audience. So, they're, a lot of the time, any English viewership doesn't add anything for them, and it does cost them to run the English stream. Because it does cost them, they've got to provide a clean feed, which is a whole extra, output. You've got to make sure that's okay. It's a little bit more technical and stuff. So, yeah. One of those things is this time MaxPax is going to just kill this engineering bay off and expand, but that's a bunch of probes pulled down early. So engineering bay does deliver some economic damage. I like it though. Just changing it up from last time. I do think that's important because, like I say, Maru is the player to punish you if you kind of do something which is maybe a little bit off. And not gonna lie, last game, the third base position, I mean, the Hellions came in, and it definitely felt like that just made life difficult for MaxPax. Like I say, his economy wasn't where it was meant to be, and again, when you're playing someone like Maru, you just gotta have your economy and all the rest of it in position, in the right place, at the right time. So yeah, you just can't afford to be thrown off. And I know that's a few probes pulled, but I think overall that's going to have less effect on MaxPax than anything else here. Terran drops an eBay and forces 7 probes to be pulled this early on. Super fair. Yeah, well, I mean, you also delay your command center because you're building an engineering bay instead of the command center, so you're also delaying your own economy, so it's actually not that crazy. Yeah, engineering bay block's nice. But if engineering bay block was so good, people would do it every single time. And, MaxPax doesn't have to fight the engineering bay. He can also play, like, a tech structure into, like, an expansion instead and just delay his own expand. Like, there are ways to play around it outside of just pulling the probes. So it's not really super crazy. It's not that... It's powerful, but not like, oh my god, this is, like, wild, you know? I was gonna see a few SCVs. Setting up at the moment. Marauder, concussive shells, etc. all coming through. A few Marines coming in. I was gonna see Uplink continuing up as well. There's a couple of gateways gonna come down. Gonna see 4 gates here from MaxPax. I don't mind it. You know, last game I was talking about how Maru was taking the initiative and taking control of the game. This is a good way for MaxPax to take the control of the game back early for sure. Now Maru is obviously multiple racks here, so has a lot of bio units. That does mean that you're not going to have as much, you know, with all these bio units, you're not going to have as much kind of defensively. Yes, you'll have a faster stim, but you're not going to have like a tank or anything to help against 4 gates of Blink either, so definitely some potential. I mean, main part of this for MaxPax is dealing with this first attack, which is already over halfway across the map, because Maru went concussive shells, and with that concussive shells, it's basically said, right, concussive shells and go, so it's going to come a little bit sooner than what MaxPax might be expecting. Let's see what his preparation is. Stalkers move out a little bit. Batteries on the way. A little while from finishing, though. Again, with concussive shells, those Stalkers get stuck. Blink is not ready yet. Maru's timing is impeccable. What a time to show up and to start fighting. He gets one more Stalker before the battery's done, and he's going to get into the main. Now Blink is done, but, well, I think this is going to be Maru getting at least a few more probes before this is done, and this is massive disruption, because he's also killed so many Stalkers. What a way to depower the threat of the 4-gate Blink by just getting rid of all the units that are going to be scary in that 4-gate Blink. See, now there's not going to be anywhere near as much available for MaxPax. And yes, Maru obviously loses some units, but he gets 11 probes out of it as well. This little concussive shell timing was really just off from what MaxPax was expecting. And so Maru is going to gain a massive lead simply by showing up with a group of units earlier than usual. Yeah, I mean, just Maru things, right? And at this point, MaxPax is kind of in a hole that he might not be able to climb out of. What is his ladder out of here? Well, he can't even go for the full-on, like, 4-gate Stalker attack, I don't think. He's just going to drop a few Stalkers in the main to start. That's pretty much all he's got. He blinks in, he will get a couple SCVs, so he will start to claw his way back into this, at least in the work account. And, well, I say claw his way back. It is now 38 against 37, or 38 each. So even when you're meant to be ahead, so he was behind a good few workers. And he will get a few more, so nice little bit of multi-prong. That's the right idea. And that's what MaxPax needs to get stabilized once again now. So yeah, definitely moves in the right direction as Marines and Marauders join up. Quite a few of these Stalkers trying to figure out what they want to do. Well, they're going to end up fighting, actually. So into the fight we go. We start to take this engagement, and you kind of go back and forth there. Nothing really too crazy. These Stalkers coming back in, getting another shot off. And looking pretty good. Have you seen the Stalkers still trying to hit the front? This bunker taking a little bit more damage, so it's continuing to take some shots. The rest of these Stalkers coming through in the bunker. Taking a lot of damage, actually. Taking a lot of hits right there. It's just about going to get pushed back at the end of this, so... Bunker survives, Stalkers pull off, and the problem is still for MaxPax, no third base, 7 minutes in this game. Robobay just started. This is even late for 4-gate Blink, right? Like, 4-gate Blink gives you your tech and your base late. This is late for being late, you know? He's really off from where he wants to be. At this point, Maru has the upgrades and everything as well. Like, he's at a point where if he can get across this map, MaxPax might just die, because, let's face it, his units, the ones that he has right now, kind of just melt. No charge, no zealots, so it's just the Stalkers. Maru chases, gets nearly another Stalker. He just had Blink ready once again to keep itself alive. Just going to see the siege tank popping out as well, and again, well, the zealot count is starting to build. Charge will be here, I think, before Maru gets aggressive. As for the moment, Maru's sitting back. Look at the efficiency, not bad for MaxPax. The problem is he just lost so many probes initially, right? You know, if he hadn't lost all of the probes early on, it would have been a completely different story. And actually, we probably would have been singing MaxPax's praises, but because he lost the probes, it made everything else so much tougher. And, you know, everything that he's done to try and draw it back has been him getting back into the game, more so than it's been him getting into a good position in the first place. Whole bio unit's going to rally out the front there. Continue to move on through. So plenty of units going out through to the center of the map at the moment. I'm just going to see that prism still hanging around up on the top side. Lots of bio units making their way over here and going to stem through. Some tall stalkers taking some damage. Stalker taking a couple of shots there. Does just about lift up into that prism to get out of there. That's nicely done. Is everything else going to wrap around the left-hand side again? Blinks in. A couple medevacs in some trouble. Unit's going to start fighting. A lot of these zealots are in some trouble as well. So a few of these stalks going to continue being pushed back. And again, this Bioforce is going to split up a little bit. So ready and a continued push forward as another scan comes down. Tank's going to want to start sieging here, I'd imagine. First tank gets sieged up. Again, everything else continuing to settle down together. A couple of Liberators are going to start sieging as well at the moment, so bringing these forward too. And MaxPax, can he pull off a defense? He's down upgrades as well, remember. 0-0 against 1-1 means that these Terran units are going to be terrifying. Tanks hitting like Zealots, not the best, but he's going to send the Marauders forward to go for the Colossi, but Super Battery is doing its job right now. Finally, the Marines make it through here. I'm terrified of what happens once the Super Battery fades, though, because the tanks are advancing forward. The Liberators should be able to jump further forward as well. There's a new battery ready. Is that going to be enough to save this Colossus play? I mean, Maru isn't even trying to dive for the Colossi. He's just taking on whatever runs up to, runs up in front of him. Zealots from the other side get turned around as well. And guys, it does look as though we are going to have Maru taking this series 2-0. As we take down the battery, I'm going to keep on pushing through. I think this is probably going to be the Maru victory we've been kind of expecting and chatting about, guys. I mean, yeah. He's actually lost a lot of the bio units, but I just don't think there's anything that can actually get rid of the tanks/liberators here from MaxPax anymore. Zealots running on their own accord again, not synced up with everything else. Here we go, the Stalkers will blink, they will make the play. Marines pull back, and they're going to be trying to help, and he will actually get the cleanup here. A couple libs, I say cleanup, one of the libs escapes away to go and siege elsewhere and be annoying. I mean, the problem is you're still back down on 2 bases. Maru's about to have his own third up and running. So yes, Maru was, 2 bases for a long time here. Was not on a 3rd CC. Needed to do damage, but now he comes out a base ahead, and obviously that speaks for itself. Still up on the upgrades. Vikings on the way to make sure the Colossi aren't a problem, because I think that's the biggest threat for Maru right now, is that maybe the Colossi can be a little bit too good here, but with Vikings coming out, he has a pretty reasonable response to them, and this might get weird, because Maru's on the right side of the map, and MaxPax is on the left side of the map. This might get a little confusing here momentarily. Let's find out. There's a few units just moving around a little bit. Maybe heading down over here. The Colossus joining up together as well. And these medevacs just going to be loading up a whole bunch of units. And away they go, up into the main base. So into the main we head. Just going to drop straight through. Here's a couple of Vikings showing up as well. Well, I mean, this is basically just going to force MaxPax to fight without any batteries or anything. So it gives Maru a fight that's kind of in MaxPax's territory without all the defenses. Yeah, was it good? Not really. He did a little bit here, but not that much. I mean, the thing is, there's still no 3rd Nexus on the way, so MaxPax is still essentially all in. Once he gets across the map and forces a fight, just he needs to get across the map and force the fight to actually have his final attempt in this game. So still a little bit funky there. Maru just really preparing, creating a wall off SimCity, just make sure these Zealots can't do much. Probes are pulled as well. That's how problematic this is for MaxPax. That's how little he has to work with right now, is Tanks will start to get the job done. The Vikings are going to start firing. One tank already going down. And yeah, everything just getting pushed away. The Warp Prism going to come through the center of the map as well. Looks as though we are going to have MaxPax. Well, kind of, again, it's been a slow death, but it has been a death. And we've kind of seen it coming for a while. We definitely knew it was happening. As SCVs are even going to pull... I feel like the SCVs pulling into this is a little bit unnecessary. Am I crazy? Like, has MaxPax's army got that much threat in it? Yeah, I feel like it was a little bit overkill. But I guess Maru knows he's all in, so pull the SCVs. Be 100% sure you don't somehow lose out on this. And Maru does advance on through to that next round of competition.